Welcome back, everyone. I decided to do one more 10-minute philosophy for the day, and then I'll go in and do some more at a later date. Um, but of course, and this is a better, clearer diagram of all the uh, things that we're talking about before on the other topics broken down, almost like an equation, an esoteric equation, if you would have, if if you allow me to say, as such, this is my esoteric equation to getting things back on track. Okay, and the topic we're gonna go in, everyone's favorite, gender. Let's let it sink in for me. If you've already followed through, this is kind of 10 minute to 10 minute to 10 minute as it grows and combines together. I want you to see how it all comes together. You see, it all starts to come together. You can see two parts of the same degree. It all starts to come together. You know what I'm saying? It all starts to come together. You see, right? Now, you're like, okay, Reverend Dr. Julius, what's the question? Gender. Do you think that gender is fluid, flexible? Yes, this is a very good question. Do you think that gender is fluid and flexible? We're gonna. This is 10 minutes, and you see how I go when I take off with it, where it goes. I'm almost tempted to take my glasses off, but we'll say that for another time. I actually need them today, for sure. You know, my personal, excuse me, philosophical, esoteric uh, theory, theory, right, to gender is it fluid or flexible? Well, of course it's flexible. Of course it's flexible because it's two parts of the same degree. They're like, okay, well, the man is still a man biologically, but yet he has feminine traits. You know, the female is still a female, but yet she possesses male traits because they're two parts of the same degree. So of course they can be fluid because they're one with each other. They're one. They can't help but to emulate one another. They can't help but to be like one another, whether north or south. They can't help but to emulate each other. If you are immortal and this is your stasis of the same part of the same degree of male and female, it's almost common with the evolution to to blur the lines of fluid and flexibility of the same parts of the same degree. That's that's something that's ever changing, ever evolving, all powerful, you know, going above and beyond the lines, not below the lines. Where we are right now are below the line, you know, below the lines. Meaning meaning you don't have to go over too far to be fluid or flexible of being one part of the other part of the same degree. You know, it's like because when you go too far, this is whenever this imbalance comes into play. You see, they're like, okay, so are you saying it's okay for you know guys to dress up in dresses that they can't help themselves? They're the same part of the same degree of female. You know what I'm saying? They're exercising what's already in them and they're bringing it out through perception. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to hurt or harm anything if they're still going to create. You know what I'm saying? As long as they're creating, there shouldn't be, right, an imbalance. Long if they're exercising, this is an expression to a point of artistic notation, even. Long as they don't forget to create, that takes them out of the balance of being what? A God. Because God creates. This is the balance. When it comes into the form of imbalance between the two parts of the same degree is when they do not want to create. You know, and it's like, oh, she's feeling like, oh, I'm gonna fix some cars. I want to be masculine today, this and the third. But if she gets over here with him and still creates, she's still a God. He's still a God, and they're not separate. They're together. They're always together. They're always together because they're two parts of the same degree, and naturally, this should be in the state of what balance and discipline, equality and acceptance that builds and creates. What's also needed here? Love and peace. You understand? With one another as God and accepting the respect of what you can create. You understand? So when people go out of their way to judge people, and I will say there's an imbalance that even people that are of different backgrounds as far as genders and whatever the like, they're me personally, they're going a little far below the line of the imbalance. That's how I feel personally, you know, because I know that if two men are doing this, they're only doing this because of the same part of the same degree that's a part of them that they should love. And naturally, if they're loving each other, there's nothing wrong with that. But you're going to have to bring her with you. You understand? You're going to have to bring her with you. And matter of fact, grab two, right? You're going to have to bring her with you. Now, I know that may ruffle some feathers, but you're going to have to bring her with you because then it's okay for you guys to feel this way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know me? I'm two parts of the same degree myself, and I'm, you know, I'm a different type of Reverend Doctor myself, but it's something that we got to get to. I'm not gonna. This is acceptance. This is the acceptance. You see what I'm saying? As long as we don't forget to create, you see what I'm saying? This keeps us in the state of a God. If you went and you created, you did what God's supposed to do. There's nothing wrong with you guys loving one another. We need that in order to maintain balance, discipline, and build and accept one another. So if you have to go love who you have to love, that's fine. But don't forget you have a responsibility and to respect the responsibility as God's to create. To create. You see? And that way, in the process of doing so, everyone can have acceptance, peace, and love, and balance, and discipline as a whole, because we're all still two parts of the same degree. If I choose to love either gender or not, I must, as a God, still create in the biological sense of the nature outside of the true manifestation of the infinite all of light within. And there is no balance or separation. Yeah. And it becomes a whole. And if we don't get this thing together, like I was saying before, the last one, we're going from north to south to west to east, and it's going to have to be a polar shift in order for us to get balance back and
get away from the imbalance and raise ourselves above after God's decree date, to still be able to love one another because we're still two parts of the same. My time's up. See you